Hello and welcome to hour number 4 of the Indy Radio 24-hour podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, the beautiful, the talented, the one and only Shannon. To hour number 4 of the. How you doing, Shannon?
I'm good. I was enjoying the playback. I wanted to hear my name one more time. How are you? How are you, Kinte?
I'm doing wonderful. I am doing my thing with you, and I'm happy to be here. We're once again joined by Q Vergara. Wait, say it. So I can
Vergara.
Vergara. See, I got better at rolling my R's, my R's. And we're also joined by the one and only Soso Steph. Soso Steph, who is not so at all.
What's that? That part.
Yes. So, first of all, Stephanie, how has 2020 been for you so far?
It's been okay. Just trying to set some goals and put some plans and actions in terms of my career. So, yeah, so far so good. I'm optimistic.
Oh, okay. Go for the optimism.
All right. I like it. What about you? I didn't get a chance to ask you that on the last show.
Q,
yeah.
Yeah, no, good. Man, I hate when you have a goal in mind. It's not like you can just get the shit done and check it off your list. It's like you can work at it for a year and for months and months, and it's just a little bit every day. And even though you're making progress, it's still like a long time away. That's where I feel, even though it's the beginning of the new year, I still feel like I'm in the middle of a bunch of my projects. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very hard sometimes to get everything accomplished you want to. Definitely in one calendar year.
Right.
But we push through.
That's right.
And we do what we can.
But persistence is a goal too, so that's good.
That's for sure, definitely. Also, I don't know, man. I just feel very good about what's coming up in 2020. I said it at the start, and I'm looking forward to this year. Now, there's something very special about you two ladies, right? And you guys are both mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And Peaches, what's up, Peaches, in the chat?
Hey, Peaches
and Maya. You both are mothers of young children both under the age of 10, right?
Yeah, my son's 9.
9, and what about you, Q?
2.5.
2. Wow, that's a big, wide difference. Yeah, I know you remember those 2s, right?
I do.
And yeah, me and Shannon, we don't have children
yet. I will be able to join y'all next year for the 3rd annual. I'll have a kid. Thanks.
Oh, okay. All right.
Congratulations in advance.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I love children. I've dated women with children. I've coached children. I've been a big brother. I have nephews and nieces. I know it's not the same, and I have friends who are parents, male and female. And one thing, especially the women that I know who are single mothers, and I'm sure the same with women who are in relationships with either with someone or with the parent, is that a lot of times you put so much into being a mother that you don't necessarily always put stuff into yourself. And I noticed stop me if I'm wrong, because a lot of times I see this. There seems to be like kind of this guilt thing that like where a lot of mothers feel guilty, like just the fact that they want time away from the kid. I mean, let me say that right. Not that you don't want to be around your child, but sometimes you want like a break, right? Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah.
So, not that you don't like the kid. Of course, you still love your child, but sometimes, I'm gonna give you a story about a friend of ours, right? So, a certain Spanish friend of ours who lives near Andre. I had called her.
Are rude.
I called her, right, to be on the show, and I was trying to get in contact with her, right, and she's a mother of 3, right? She has 2 17-year-olds and 1 5-year-old, and I couldn't get a hold of her because she was doing stuff with her 5-year-old, right? So she finally got back with me. I called her, but she was in the bathtub. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting your bath." And she said, "This is probably the only time I'm going to be able to talk to you from the bathtub."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I told her what I needed from her, with the show and all that. And then she goes, and then the kid comes in. And the kid is like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." And then she's like, "I'm in the bathtub. Can you just let me be in the bathtub?" And he's like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." It was, I was laughing. She was not laughing. It was not funny to her.
You're not going to do my Evan like that.
Right. It was pretty funny though. And then he was like, "Let me get in too." She's like, "No, I want this time to myself. Can I just be in the bathtub and enjoy taking a bath," which is a everyday regular thing, but stuff like that, I can see how it would have greater importance. So I bring that up, not to put, I didn't say her name, but we know who we're talking about. Not to put her on blast or anything like that. I'm sure there must be moments where, you need that break. So,
Steph, you want to take it first?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, there's times where you need a break. I mean, you have to understand, from an emotional perspective, you want to be there for your kids, and you want to, especially if you're a single parent like I am, like you are the cook, the queen, the maid. You provide emotional support. You're the disciplinarian. You're the playmate. You're the chauffeur. You're the financial advisor. Like you make decisions all day long, and especially if you don't really have someone to delegate any responsibilities to, yeah, it gets hard. I mean, and even if you're not physically tired, sometimes you're just emotionally drained because, you're dealing with a person who has a fully formed personality of their own. And, you're trying to mold and shape them, discipline them, be there for them, spend time with them, do fun things with them. Let them know that you care. Like, it is a big balancing act, and I have a job, so it's not like I don't work. So sometimes I bring work home. Then there's other things. So one thing that I realize is that if I don't pour into myself, I can't be there for my son. And my mental and physical health is so important. And I've really been working on my mental health in the past year to just get to a better place. And then as far as, time to myself or like things like that, I can relate because sometimes the only time I would have to myself is on my commute home. And I enjoyed having a long commute because I had more time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just be alone with my thoughts. Even if I was in traffic, there's nobody asking me for anything, nobody complaining, nobody crying, nobody checking on me, nobody wanting to get in my bed, and so, or even in the shower, or or maybe, it could be even, oh, well, I lived in my grandma's house for an hour just to run an errand. Maybe she doesn't babysit him all the time. She's just watching him for a few minutes so you could take care of something where maybe
Mhm.
it's not appropriate to take a child, maybe a doctor's appointment or anything. And you learn to cherish that time. And then also, you know, I am blessed to have some financial resources to have a babysitter and to be able to outsource certain tasks. Like, I have a housekeeper that comes every other week. And I can get a babysitter. It's still expensive to me, which kind of made me think about your previous show about dating and closing the deal because I don't want to pay for a babysitter to go on a date with somebody whack. But that's another story.
Hey, facts though.
That's true.
So yeah, you have to figure out a plan, like, and it doesn't happen overnight. And it also depends on your child's needs too, because if you have a child that is like, doesn't do well in the care of other people, they're super anxious when you're gone. My son, he struggled, like, acclimating to new people because he was just used to being me. That's my buddy. Like, it's just been me and him. So yeah, you really have to outsource if you can, and lean on your support group. And then also you have to learn how to say no to certain things because like your family will ask you to do things. Oh, do you want to go to such and such? It could be something like going over to a family member's house for a get together. You may not feel like it. You may just want to stay at home in your bed and watch Netflix while the baby's taking a nap. You just don't feel like it. You just want to be in your space without a bunch of stuff going on. So I've learned to try and do that. I'm not perfect at it, but I do try to make time for myself, even if
Mhm.
it's like I leave work maybe 30 minutes early just to go and get a pedicure. Just something that is just for me.
Mm.
So yeah.
Hmm.
I'm so glad you brought up the not emotional support, but the emotional. Oh God, I completely forgot what it's called. Like the
Self care.
strain it takes on
Mhm.
you to make all of those emotional decisions every day. It's
Mhm.
it's they say that
Exactly.
CEOs and multi-billion-dollar entrepreneurs are successful because they eat the same thing every day, wear the same clothes every day,
Oh,
and
look.
do pretty much the same shit. And what that does is it eliminates those decisions. So they're able to pour those decisions into more meaningful work.
Yeah.
When you're a mom or when you're a single parent, you now have to make decisions for you and decisions for someone else. And because they have that little personality, they don't want to wear the same shit every day and they don't want to eat the same shit every day. Or they do want to eat the same shit every day, but now you have your mom or your mother in law saying, well, they can't eat chicken nuggets every day. And you're like, but he's eating, And so there's this constant battle with yourself and with everything going on around you. And even more so, I've noticed as a mom, no matter what you do, you're kind of fucked either way because there's always someone with a really, really strong opinion
Mhm.
on some decision that you made for the best of your kids. So, like, for instance, I remember for my son's first birthday, we were like, we're going to have his birthday in the morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or from 9 a.m. to noon. And the reason for that is he goes down for a nap between 1 and 2. So I
Mhm.
want to make sure we get him home so he can relax and like detox from all of that stimulation. Well, parts of his family, like parts of, the cousins and the additional family get there and people start complaining that it's too early and they don't want to go. And I'm like, it's a 1 year old's birthday. What the fuck are you going to do at a park? You don't have any kids. You never check in on him. You honestly have no reason to be here. And it's not an adult thing. This is literally for him a couple hours at the park. And then if people are showing up late, now they're mad that I'm taking him home. And I'm like, it's literally his birthday, built around his needs and what he's doing. I'll be damned if I'm going to fry his little nerves to stay out because it suits everyone else, you know? And I completely understand if it's a birthday, people want to, celebrate for hours on end, but a 1-year-old can't really do that, especially a 1-year-old that I'm trying to maintain on a schedule, because schedules are extremely important if you have to work, if you have to make sure your kid's watched by someone else, even more so making sure that other person maintains that schedule, maintains the way you want to discipline. I don't want to hit my kid, so I have to make sure whoever's watching him doesn't hit him, because you don't have to hit him. You raise your voice and you hit your own hand and he cries because he knows what you're saying, but I know the mischievous shit he does, So it's like playing this really thin line between what's best for my kid, what works with our lifestyle, and how much do I truly give a shit about people around me. Because everyone's going to put their opinion on what you're doing and how you're not doing it and what you could be doing better. And it's really fucked up because when I first became a mom, I was very much like, tell me what to do. I need help. I need everyone's opinion so I can form my own. And then it became, you know what? Shut the fuck up. I know what I'm doing because I know what he needs. Because I can look at him and I know what he needs. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that relationship maybe between a mom and a daughter. I feel like these are very convoluted ideas that don't necessarily apply to every circumstance. And I don't want necessarily women, because have you guys ever heard of those women that have a kid and then they don't have that like emotional attachment to them?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them to necessarily think they're doing anything wrong because everyone is so fucking different, and what works for you and your family might not work for your neighbor. And I think that's the point I'm trying to get at,
A friend of mine told me, who's a mother, she said, sometimes I hate the word mommy because her kids will say it like over and over and then drive her nuts. We have an echo. But she'll say, I hate the word mommy because like she'll hear it over and over. It's like, mommy this, mommy this, mommy this. And then she said one time she snapped and she was like, don't call me not mommy. And the kid looked at her like, what am I going to call you? She realized that she was on one. So then she, said, no, calm down and all of that. But I thought that was pretty interesting that, that she was under so much stress and all of this stuff. And because she was doing it by herself. And
well, I'm so glad you even brought up guilt, because for me, I don't know if you've experienced this at all, Steph, but for me, guilt has played a huge role in motherhood. I constantly feel guilty. My kid's happy as shit, but I constantly feel guilty. I'm like, you haven't been to Disney. I work too much. I don't even really work overtime like that. And I'm like, I work too much. I go to school, so I'm not spending time with you. All of these things that become this amalgamation of guilt that fucking kills me. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because it's like there's literally nothing else I can do, because everything that I'm doing now is to set up for the future that I'm trying to build for him. But there's this internal struggle of, but what about right now? I'm missing the little things that he's doing while he's growing up, Yeah,
you didn't. Did you take him? Stephanie? Did you take him to the DJT rally in Houston? Back.
Well, I mean, in terms of guilt, yeah, I do feel mom guilt sometimes. I actually felt it today because I wasn't feeling well, and I wanted to take a nap, and I slept a little bit longer than I had planned to. And so I felt bad that Kendall didn't, I wasn't up to spend time with him on the weekend. I felt really bad about that. But, then I had to reflect on the fact that I stayed up till 12 midnight the other night helping him with his science project and stuff. So, the pendulum swings really wide sometimes when it comes to parenting. And I think for me, the most serious issues that I deal with is really my guilt is driven more by anxiety, and the anxiety comes from feeling like I can't do everything within the 24-hour day. So, it's like I want to finish my laundry. I want to do this. I want to check my emails from work. I want to, be able to cook food every day, like a hot meal. But sometimes I feel bad because I have to eat out because I just have things to do, or I'm just plain tired. And I have to get, it's like I don't want him to be late to school. I want him to have a hot breakfast every day. And Q hit on something about when people bring in their opinions. It's like, yeah, like my son likes certain things for breakfast, and I really don't deviate from that because it makes my morning very easy. And my mom always has something to say. Well, why do you always feed him this? I'm like, because I don't have to think about it. Like he likes it. It's not unnutritious. It does. Why do like if he likes it and it's good for him? Why does it matter? Like if he likes oatmeal every day, like it's good for you. Like, and that's like his favorite thing to eat, oatmeal. And then the second is pancakes, sausage, and fruit. So it's not like he has a horrible breakfast or a horrible diet. It's like people just find things to nitpick. And as much as I have on my plate and people know, why would you talk? Like, why would you even say that?
Because and I feel like
I feel guilty because I'm not making an executive breakfast every morning. Like,
really? And then I feel like what really adds to it is the other side of the coin, that if a dude were to be in your position, waking up, making your son that same meal, they would be praised for it. And it's like, bro, do you not see what the fuck I'm doing? Between my day job, my side hustle, my editing, my writing a book, all of this other stuff that I'm doing, but I'm still beating myself up because I couldn't bathe my kid one night. But at the other side of the coin, if my partner all of a sudden is like, oh, let me go bathe him and get him ready for bed, it's like fireworks are going off. And I'm like, fuck me. I just did it 364 days last year. Like, can I get a fucking parade?
With you, I didn't bathe my son every night when he was a baby. And you know why? Because my best friend is a pediatrician, and she told me that she don't bathe her kids every night when they were very little. They don't need it. Like, it's not necessary. Like, if they're very little, like, now when they start going to the restroom and they're trying to clean themselves and stuff like that, that's something different, like in that potty training phase. But when they're in that 1.5 to 2 phase, like even before then, of course, because like even newborns and stuff, you don't bathe them every day, you bathe them like once a week, and you gradually increase it. So sometimes I'll be so tired because I nursed my son for 2 years. I worked, sometimes my commute was 45 to 50 minutes. Traffic in Houston is horrible. His dad was taking me back and forth through custody situations, like constantly. Like I was having financial problems. Like I was having a lot of problems. And my friend was like, don't worry about it. Just give him a wash off and put him to bed. Like he's a baby. Like and I'm like, okay, she's a pediatrician. She knows, like, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay.
Well, it's great having that epiphany because my mom said the same thing. She's like, he's a baby. Like, what the fuck do you think he's doing out in these fields? He's not doing anything.
Right. They don't sweat like us. They don't have body odor like we do because of
you clean him every time you change his diaper.
Right. And I'm cleaning, and brush his teeth, wash his face, wipe him down, and put his pajamas on. And then, when you're the next day, you're not so tired, give him a bowl bath. It's like, she's like, don't beat yourself up over it. I told my patients, my parents and stuff of my patients, like, if he goes one night without a bath, it's not the end of the day. And I think it's not socially acceptable to say stuff like that. But doctors will tell you, like, it's okay.
That's the stuff that as a mom you need to hear. Because you have, and fuck me, I have no idea where we get this preconceived notion that if I'm not 100% of the time, like, I am fucking awful and I am terrible.
But you know what? I think I had read that the sign of a good parent is that you always think you're fucking up. Bad parents think always bad parents.
I know, because bad parents are just like, oh, it's fine.
I got this. It's fine. Like,
and I'm like, your kid's playing tag in traffic, my guy. I don't think you do that.
But good parents are constantly worried. We're constantly anxious. We're constantly thinking that I'm not doing enough. You know,
right? Like, what else can I do to
I
really
do
mold
to
into
make
a
him, you know, to enrich his life, whether it be, academic, sports,
but yeah, for sure.
spending time with family, making sure that he's getting what he needs, like in terms of, stimulus. Like it's a lot. And then, it makes it even more difficult when you're in a situation like me, his dad wasn't super cooperative. He was actually very antagonistic. So I have dealt with guilt, not as much as maybe some people do, but because my mom definitely will give on that she definitely gives me a reality check on. She was like, "You're only one person, you know,
Yeah.
I, you can't do everything." And then she was like, "And if you can pay for somebody to do something, pay them, because peace of mind is everything."
You know what's so interesting to me, and this is probably gonna sound silly, is like you're pregnant, right, for the 9 months or whatever it is. You go into the hospital, you have a baby, and then it's like a couple of days later or a day later, whatever it is, you go home and it's like, dang, all of a sudden you got this person.
Oh, I felt that as soon as he was born. Like I was just like, okay, this person is totally dependent upon me. They cannot fend for themselves. I'm fucked. like,
Yeah, I remember when my son came home.
at the moment.
I remember when my kid came home from the hospital and he had been on oxygen because he came out 2 months premature. And my mom tried to go to the grocery store. And I'm a grown ass woman. And I'm like, Mom, where are you going? We got this baby. And she's like, you mean I have to go grocery shop and the family needs to eat? I'm like, no, we have a baby. When are you going to be back? What do you mean you have to go? And it's so funny because I was thinking about that the other day, that I was so fucking petrified and terrified of this itty bitty potato that didn't do anything. Like, but he took so
You're
much.
scared you're gonna make mistakes. You're so scared of making mistakes, and
Do they give you like
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do they give you like I don't know,
an owner's manual?
Or
Well, I
go to YouTube and check out these videos?
Classes. I took parenting classes, and at my hospital they had the parenting and the Lamaze and the breathing and all that, and it was helpful. And then his dad came to every class, and then after he was born, he acted like he didn't want to help me at all with the baby. It's so weird.
See, my classes, all of my parenting and Lamaze classes were scheduled the week after I had him. So I was like, that's not really going to help me.
He was born early.
He was born right after 30 weeks. And then I was terrified from that. So all the postpartum that comes with having a kid in the NICU for 6 weeks. And then it was terrifying because they were like, okay, we're going to send him home on oxygen. Here's how to do CPR. Make sure he doesn't die. That's like all you got to do. And I'm like, fuck you mean all I got to do? I have no medical training, my guy. You're sending me home with an entire human. First week home, he got pneumonia. And when I tell you I felt guilty, I was like, my kid almost died in less than a week of me having him. And then I finally talked to another NICU nurse and she goes, you know what? This actually happens with like 80% of babies that leave the NICU. Has absolutely nothing to do with you. And I was like, oh my God, that I felt terrible because all of a sudden it's like, wow, you were my responsibility and you got a fucking lung infection? Like, how does that happen? If there was a grading system at that point, it just would have been failed. This baby's not yours. CPS is coming to your door. And now I'm all just like, he's fine. He's hardy.
It's definitely a balancing act of making sure your child has the things that they need and a few things that they want. They have wants too, and also taking care of yourself, whatever that is for you, whatever you feel that is. So whether it's exercising, sleeping, going on date nights, whatever. I think it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, the hustle, the hamster and the wheel. It's that sometimes you have to plan it. It's just like when you're in a marriage and you're like, oh, we're paying bills, we're taking care of the kids, we're going to work, and then next thing you know, a month has gone by, you haven't had sex. Well, You probably
But
could.
dude, I feel like, especially when you're a mom, like from the moment I had my kid, time has started sprinting the fuck by me. And I'm like, yo, where is it going? Time is moving so quickly now that
Yeah.
you legitimately have to take a step back and be like, okay, we have to like plan to go out and plan to do this and plan to be organized. And then even more so,
get caught up. You just get caught up.
yeah, and then it can't anymore be, oh, let's just go, you know, run around and go do this. Well, we need a baby.
Especially if you want to do stuff with friends that have kids too, because like my friends have kids. When I went to Jamaica with my friends, man, let me tell you, most of us are moms. Some of them are in relationships, some of us are not, but most are moms. It was so refreshing to be able to get up and not have to make breakfast for anybody. Nobody talking to me, nobody asking me anything, nobody asking for an iPad, nobody asking for the remote, nobody telling me they want pancakes. I just woke up and just went to the buffet. And
Amen.
I had to get no one ready.
I felt so good. Like nobody was depending on me for anything. I cried. Like, no, I'm saying like I cried because I was just like, I felt so good because I just hadn't had that long of a break where I wasn't just, oh, I gotta rush and get back home, rush and get him from the babysitter, rush and get him to bed, rush and make sure he goes to bed because we gotta get up for church, rush and make sure his uniforms are
Because all your time is calculated. It's like you only have this
that was like 5 days where I didn't have to think about anybody but me. And it took us, we planned that trip a year in advance.
Oh, wow.
A year. So it takes planning, you know, to be able to do stuff, especially if the people you want to do things with, you know, outside of your spouse or the other parent have kids too. So you got to keep in mind, and as you get older, you know, the more commitments people have. They got kids, they got businesses, they got to deal with aging parents, because now some of my friends they can't travel because they're taking care of an aging parent. You know, I have a parent that's sick, that's in a hospital bed. It's a lot of stuff that you have to coordinate to be able to spend time, whether even if it's just alone in your bed with a big bowl of popcorn and the latest Tyler Perry movie on Netflix. Like, even
and
if
I think on top of that, you have to be honest with yourself, with what you're capable of, what your priorities are, because very often it's like, okay, well, now I have to go be a debutante and go be social. Okay, well, now I have to go be this person. Well, now I have to go be every woman. And it's like, bitch, you need to rest. And you know this. Be honest with yourself. You know you're tired. You know, you're not enough. You really have to figure out your priorities and be honest with yourself about what you're capable of. And not even, and I even hate putting it that way because it sounds like you have to max yourself out every day, you know? And there are some days where I just want to coast by on 30 and 30% and just get to the end of the day and be cool. There are some days, yeah, I'm out there giving 100%, but when you're a mom, it low-key feels like every day you're giving 120% and you still feel like you're falling short. You know?
Let me ask a question you might think it's silly, but I'm a man, so I don't know. I'll never know. Okay, so for 9 months, you had somebody up in your body, and then that person moonwalked out, right?
Exactly like that,
I wish they would have moonwalked out.
I had a Dexter situation. They sliced open my stomach, had pictures of me hanging up, telling me how I fucked up and like popped my kid out.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, I mean, he rolled out. That one, he rolled out. So my question is, like, how different does your body feel after you've housed the human, and then now that human's not in you no more? Like, does your body, like, at what point does your body start feeling like it did before? Does it ever go back? Like, how different do you feel? I mean, think about it. You had a
I
human
feel
being inside of you.
100% different from the time I was pregnant. Carrying my child, he's fucked up my bladder. He's fucked up my pelvic floor. He's fucked up my back. I can't sit for long periods of time. I pee if I hit fire kush. I will piss if I laugh too hard. Like, it's so much little shit that I had no idea about. And the part that pisses me off even more, and this might be a slight bit of a tangent, is considering we're such a developed nation, why is it our prenatal and postpartum care is such bullshit? In some Scandinavian country, I would have to fact check myself, but I believe somewhere of a baby, they help rebuild your pelvic floor. Also, fun fact, you can still have a fucked up pelvic floor and piss when you laugh, even if you have a C-section, because when you're carrying a child, the baby actually sits there. And that's the part that weakens, which makes it so you can have accidents and all that other fun stuff. So in these other countries, what they do is they'll give you a video game. Imagine a joystick or like a weight that you put up your pussy, and then you do Kegels to keep the weight and play like Angry Bird on a computer screen. So it helps you rebuild those muscles, because all a vagina is, well, let me rephrase. It's not a vagina. What's the proper word for a vagina? Because the vagina is actually just the canal. Vulva.
The cervix?
Vulva. Vulva is actually the whole shit. The vagina is just the canal that houses the penis during fuckingness. So vulva is the whole shit. Where was I going?
Well,
Yes. So that's just the muscle.
I was going to say Q, in certain places, they do give you, not necessarily playing Angry Birds, but I was threatened with Kegel therapy right after I had my hysterectomy, because I had stress.
Really?
Oh, so yeah. My doctor was like, you don't have a choice if you don't get it together. I said, yo, I got to work, so I will hold my bladder till I get there.
Mm. So how's your body different now that you had a person living in you for 9 months?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, after I had him, my stomach muscles, they felt real wobbly. Like I felt real loose in my stomach. Like it just real, like that's why they tell you to wrap your tummy to get that support. And I could definitely see why. I mean, I was actually a lot smaller than I am now after I had him. And even after breastfeeding, I became really small, like size 10, 12 from breastfeeding. That's small for my frame. But I think for me, I definitely dealt with some incontinence issues. Especially like right around the time it was time for me to get up in the morning, I would have to really like go to the restroom, because if I didn't, we would have some problems. And it has gotten better. I didn't have many issues like with my pelvic floor or anything like that, but I had a hard recovery because I didn't get an episiotomy. He tore me in the sides. And so because they didn't cut me down the middle, because he came out so fast, I pushed 3 times and he was out.
Oh, wow.
So he came out so fast, I didn't get a chance to get an episiotomy. So where he tore me and stuff was really made my recovery really hard. So for me, that was the hardest part, because I couldn't really walk after I had him. I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand to even fix myself something to eat. And then my partner wasn't really helping me very much with him, so it was a struggle. And then, like, even after a month, like, I think the first time I left the house for an extended period of time, other than his doctor's visit, it had been a month, maybe. Because then I could finally walk, like, put him in the stroller, walk around, and not feel like I was in a lot of pain. It was hard. And then I was nursing him. So, dealing with issues with the breast getting larger, and then the hurting, and then he was very greedy. So I had to take this supplement, this natural supplement, fenugreek. I had to take fenugreek to help produce milk and eat oatmeal. Fenugreek makes you smell like maple syrup. It's not strong. It's not like a strong smell, but like you can smell it on yourself a little bit. Like it's not like, oh, she smells like a maple tree. It's just like like you can smell like
that's the worst, when you're just like, what is that? Is that
right? But it's like my friend that's a pediatrician told me, no, you need to take fenugreek. Like it will increase your milk. So I started taking it, and one day I woke up and my breasts were like this. Like I'm like, I gotta go on this pump ASAP, honey, because whew, I mean, so dealing with that and just, I mean, I didn't really feel like myself probably for about a year.
Oh wow, a year.
Yeah.
A whole year.
Easily.
And really, it does take a year to recover from it. Like they send you back to work in 6 weeks. But it's emotional. You got your hormones have to get back in balance. It's
Bruh, my
it's
postpartum,
a coochie healing. Like it's a whole process. Like,
in terms of postpartum, that shit didn't even get in full swing. Don't get me wrong, it was there right after I had him, but it was not even full swing till I was about 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. And then it was like, I felt like I got hit by an emotional bus of fucking hormones. Like things even looked different, and I could feel my body in shock to the point where if I was away from my son, I would have these like overbearing panic attacks and just blow my mom's phone up. And if she didn't answer, I would be like, my son's dead, my mom's dead, everyone's fucking dead. And it was such a scary experience. Like, I started experiencing, what's it called? Disassociation. I started to disassociate from who I was and not understand the things that I was experiencing. And it was the weirdest mind trip in the entire world. And the only thing that like brought me back and calmed me down and let me sort through my thoughts was self-medicating with marijuana. Because at that point, even when I was using the antidepressants, they had me going like this. And then I had diarrhea, and then I had side effects and would start sweating. And I'm like, I don't want to just be out in these streets having this shit like breaking out in the sweats. I smoked a little bit of pot, and then all of a sudden, it's like I was able to sit down and say, okay, what's the situation? Why are you freaking out? What's going on? And like talk myself out of these really, really dark holes. Because prior to that, it was so hard to explain how dark things were. Even like the sun came out and shit was just noticeably darker. It was really eerie, but something that was definitely noticeable to even other people when they would walk in the room. You know, it was really, really, really weird.
Wow.
yeah, it can postpartum issues. And like for me, like I had nursed my son for so long. After I stopped nursing him, I started to have cystic acne because that's another hormonal change to go from nursing a baby to weaning the baby. It's not just a change for him; it's a change for you because the hormones is what produces the milk. And so I started to have lots of problems with my skin. And my best friend would do the same thing. The pediatrician, she had nursed all three of her kids, and they were kind of like stair step. So when she got to that last one, and she stopped nursing that last one, her face just like exploded. Like it was terrible. And it's so many different things that you go through just trying to recover from having a baby. And even still, no, it's just like I still deal with certain bladder issues. It's not bad, but
Well, and it's crazy because even with all of that, you're still a mom. So you're dealing with postpartum bladder issues, incontinence, back pain.
Yeah, and you may have issues post pregnancy, like with your uterus being lower and dealing with like heavy flow, and then you still got a period, and you still got and you still get headaches on your period, and you still get cramps, and you still. It's just like.
Oh, well, here's a plot twist that my body decided to do for me. So I found out I get sympathetic pregnancies. So the chick next to me at work gets pregnant. I had morning sickness for almost 12 weeks.
Yikes.
And then I was all just like, no, it's fine. I think I'm just hallucinating. Like, there's something obviously wrong with me. I'm going to go to the doctor. She announces her pregnancy, and I was like, yo, I fucking knew it. Like, I knew it was a sympathetic pregnancy. Go to the doctor. Turns out I'm definitely not pregnant. And I was like, even more so. But fuck my body. Like, being a fucking follower, hopping on like that's our baby. I thought I was independent. No, the chick next to me. I don't even love this hoe.
I don't.
Now we both pregnant?
I never experienced that because the thought of even being pregnant right now, I would jump off a bridge.
Oh wow.
My partner had a sympathetic pregnancy when I was pregnant with our son, and he was thrown up for the first like 4 weeks, and then he stopped, and then I got it all, and I was like, "No, take it back."
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, nah, that's all you, boo.
He was getting cravings and shit. It was so cute.
Before we get out of here, I have to ask this question for you ladies. So what is it that you want from your mate during all of this? Like especially we'll say after you have the baby. Like what was it that you really could have used, maybe that you didn't get?
A wife.
Huh?
A wife.
A wife. Oh, you want another woman to come
Someone that's intuitive, that's just like, okay, you just had surgery. Let me handle this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like women have this little some shit in them that makes them give a fuck and a little bit more selfless than many men that I see.
Right.
It's like a dude could be great. Yeah, I'll wake up and change this one diaper, but then it's like, now I got to get up. I mean, did I not just do all of the legwork for the past 8 months, 9 months? Yeah. Just pop this whole fucking kid out. Like, more support and not like, you got this, babe. Like, actual active, there's other shit. Okay, you see that I'm taking care of the kid. Go do some laundry. Go cook some dinner. Go do some shit. Match my effort.
Right.
Match what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's it. It's fucking it. Because if there were 2 of me, oh my God, I think he's actually sleeping in the other room too. If there were 2 of me, shit would get done. I can tell you that right now. For sure.
Well, if they're gonna clone you, Q, I think Alan wants that copy. So
that he does. Yes, Lord.
I can't with him. Oh my God.
Hilarious. So, is it basically the same, Steph? Is that what you?
I think the bar is so low because my ex didn't do anything. So, and I'm not saying that to be facetious or be condescending. I mean, when I came home with my son was in a UV blanket because he had jaundice, and I was nursing him. I just told you I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit up on my own in the bed because if you have to use the muscles to just be able to sit up.
Mm-hmm.
My coochie hurt. Okay, it was on fire. Okay, they don't talk about that vaginal delivery and what it feels like afterwards. Okay, they don't talk about that, how it stings and burns and all that. They don't talk about that. that would when I'm telling you that burning and stinging and all that craziness, trying to use the restroom and it's hurting and you got stitches and all that. So I would have at least just like for somebody just to keep the household running, load up the dishwasher, fix me something to eat because I can't get up.
Right.
And not ask me what needs to be done. Just
the first night that I came home, I didn't get anything to eat. We slept through the night as if nothing happened. Nobody brought me anything to drink, no food, nothing. And I was trying to nurse a baby who was wrapped in a UV blanket and was extremely hungry, and I wasn't even making enough milk because I could tell him. So my milk was still trying to come in, and I cried. It was a horrible experience, and I wish I would have had the bare minimum because at least I would have had, somebody to buy groceries and warm up a TV dinner.
Yeah.
To make sure that I had enough food to eat so I could produce milk, because if I don't eat, I can't produce any milk either.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's real.
I'm sorry you went through that. That's horrible. But I want to end it with this. Is both of you guys have sons, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've ever seen Q's son. before.
He's so cute.
Here,
But
hold on.
I
I
can imagine.
actually got a really funny picture. I'm gonna show the whole world this little guy.
I'll say while she's getting her picture, Stephanie, your son, very handsome young man, looks just like his mama.
Thank you.
You can't deny that one. No DNA test needed. Oh, look at him. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's adorbs.
Yeah. So you both have wonderful kids, and you guys. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show is because us guys, we're wrapped into ourselves, right? We don't know, Like I want to do a show this year about how much we don't know about the opposite sex, right? Because like we don't know basic stuff, and we've been dealing with women our whole lives, and we don't know how a bra. We don't really know what a bra is for. We think we know. And
What?
Like, there's a lot of guys they really don't know. They definitely don't know how the sizes work. We just know if it's D, right? They big, right? We don't know about how the body.
Hell yeah! I need to be on one of them shows.
Yeah.
Man, if men had to measure their stuff by a bra size, it'd be a lot of embarrassment.
I'm just saying, if guys could measure their shit by how many donuts they could stack on top, I think it would be.
Well, I mean,
pretty.
Oh, you heard of the toilet paper roll test?
No, but I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with it. I like where your head's at.
I mean, it sounds like we need to be in a private chat room, ladies.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently.
I'll help you out with that show.
All right, yeah, because guys, we think we know stuff.
Yeah, y'all be thinking
y'all don't know.
Y'all know nothing.
No, I admit it. I'm a dude, and
whatever show needs to start off with a fucking diagram of a vulva and have guys label it, because I know they're not going to get that shit right.
With an arrow right to the clitoris.
Just be like, label this.
It's not down there. It's right there.
Look,
and then you need to have a fill in the blank.
Like, why are you
need
so
to have
bad
a fill in the blank.
Real talk.
What is the importance of a G-spot?
Real talk.
What is the labia majora and minora for? Like, these are questions that need answered.
Menorah, ain't that where you put the candles on for Hanukkah? I'll be real honest. I'm 43 years old. Been dealing with women since 13, right? I really didn't start really paying attention to women until my 30s. Like, really, I'm talking about where I started, because it's like, how they say, I don't want to know how the hot dog is made. I just want to eat it.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay attention to, it was just like, okay, my woman she's here. She's dolled up and all of that. Cool. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I never even thought about what she did to get ready to be with me. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I focused on is, man, we gotta go. I'm running late. That kind of thing. And then, so there's still a lot of things that because you think you know a lot, right? When you're especially a young man, you're like, I know everything about women. What you talking about?
You know nothing.
Right. No, it's true. But most guys, what's going to be interesting? Some of the guys that we have in our group, I'm sure they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do real well. I'm not going to give them the answers beforehand. I'm going to let the ladies come up with some questions.
Hell yeah, I got a ton of questions.
So we're gonna have like Andre on there, and we'll have some.
Fucking get Alan.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta get Dante on there.
Oh God.
That'll be funny.
Oh God.
A mess.
No Google though. No Google, Dante.
No Google.
Oh, and real quick, happy birthday to Aaron. It's his birthday today.
It is.
So big shout out to Aaron. So I don't even know how old he is. I think is he still in his 20s? Is he?
I think he's 30 now.
He's 30 now, so he's getting old too. So
no, just kidding. He's 29, maybe. 91, baby.
Oh,
So he'd be 30 next year, maybe? I don't know.
yeah, I
Don't
think
give me the lion. He's 12.
yeah. So shout out to him. Happy birthday, bro. And also Ebony, who was going to be on the show. Ebony came on, and she's a fashion expert. She did the BBW
The
fashion.
Empress?
No, not that Ebony. Ebony Maddox.
Oh, okay.
So I really want to do a show with Ebony and Steph, because I think that'd be a good one. She's a sweetheart. She was actually going to do it, and I said, "Girl, enjoy your birthday."
Yeah, happy birthday, Ebony.
She's like, "No, I'll do it." I'm like, "No, do your birthday.
Happy birthday.
We'll reschedule you." So, but anyway, we'll start off with UQ. How can we get you in social media and all that good stuff?
It's so funny for social media. I always get confused what my tag is on Facebook, even though I'm pretty sure it's just my name. Yeah, no, it's just Q Vergara, which is QVERGARA. I'm gonna start saying Q like cucumber and really throw people for a fucking loop. You can also get me on Snapchat. Let me see what my shit is. Yeah, it's under something else complicated. Cookie Mama. Huh?
We snapping.
Hell yeah. That's for all my nefarious shit. QUQIMAMA. Yeah, because I'd be, not on there as much as I should be. But y'all can see the debauchery that I get into. It's fun.
I love it. And Stephanie, how can we get you on social media and all that good stuff?
My Instagram is Soso Steph _ and you can follow me there.
And for people who don't know, I think we've talked about this once before. It's not so as in she's
mediocre.
It's not that. It's so because of so deaf.
Yeah, it's just a play on words.
Right. Because at first I was like, why she call herself so? She's totally not so at all. But then when you said what it was, I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Well, and it's funny because every time I hear it, I'm like, so Steph. Like just every time. And then he was like, it doesn't mean I. And I'm like, why would it? Oh, that's not how she says it though.
Right. So yeah. So just because people have asked before, and I always meant to clarify that. So it's not she's not saying she's I. All right. So Shannon, how can we get you social media and all that good stuff?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Shannon Ford like the president, Heights and Jefferson like the president.
All right, so we're gonna take our break. Shannon will be back in several hours. I'm continuing for this hour, and then I'm gonna take a break after this next hour. But thank you guys so much, and you guys have a beautiful rest of your night. And we will continue on with the.
Bye.
All right, end of the broadcast. Thank you.